Hello, here is a tutorial if you are looking to do a little bit of review of just the main pieces of an argument. If you look at the front of the tutorial, we're only going to focus on the very first bullet point here, the basic elements of an argument. So we'll kind of stop a little bit short.
A movie trailer that introduces audiences to the latest action-packed blockbuster. A newspaper editorial that discusses the problem of pollution. A political speech that unveils a new policy proposal. What do these have in common? They all use the power of persuasion to convince you to do or believe something. Persuasive writers and speakers use all kinds of special techniques to convince their audiences. But to really be effective, a writer or speaker needs to have a strong argument. At the heart of any argument is a claim, or a writer's position on a problem or an issue. A writer must prove the claim by providing reasons and evidence, also known as support. Click the phrases below to see examples of claims.
So
A claim usually appears at the beginning of a persuasive text or speech.
I interrupted him.
The claim is supported by evidence and details that appear later in the argument.
So this concept of having a claim with reasons and argument, one, it does make your writing, your speech, whatever you're doing with it, more effective, but that also is what makes it a big difference from your elementary days of reading and writing opinion pieces. We're now moving into argument pieces with claims, reasons, and evidence. So now we can see some examples of this. Clean up laundry detergent is the best detergent on the market. So that would be the claim, and then the rest of that commercial would have some founded reasons and evidence of why it's so effective. I'm the candidate who is most prepared to tackle the difficult issues that our community faces. So I would assume reasons and evidence would explain these issues and what this candidate has done or will do to solve them in the community. So an editorial is like a newspaper article. A policy that bans cell phones from school grounds will cause more problems than it will solve. So this argument would have reasons and evidence showing you what potential problems will come up from a cell phone ban at school. So a claim in a lecture would be a speech. Volunteering will benefit you as much as the people you are helping. So this person's speech would move on to say what exactly the benefits are.
When analyzing any persuasive text, examine it closely to identify the claim. Ask yourself, what does the writer want me to believe or do after reading this passage? Which sentence states the writer's claim?
All right, so on the right hand in the blue, we've got a piece of argumentative text. Our community center is in dire need of improvement. Residents have been complaining about it for months. To begin with, much of the equipment should be replaced. The children's sports gear is falling apart, and the exercise equipment is outdated. Also, the swimming pool needs to be repainted. So if you're looking through these sentences that are numbered, it's very easy to see what are some reasons and then what is the overall claim. If you remember, the claim is often stated in the beginning of an argument. So looking at those first two sentences, two is not even a choice. So the correct answer is the very first sentence that gives the claim, and then sentences 3, 4, and 5 are giving reasons of the improvement that's needed.
A writer must support a claim with reasons that answer the question why. For instance, a political candidate must argue that he or she is the better person for a position. As part of the argument, the candidate should offer reasons that answer the question, why am I a better choice than my opponent? Click the images to read reasons for the following claim. I'm the candidate who is more prepared to tackle the difficult issues that our community faces.
So it looks like each one of these images will show us some reasons of why they are more prepared.
My plan for community improvement will be more effective than my opponent's plan.
That's the worst audio ever. Eek.
I have more experience than my opponent.
So both of these are reasons, but if you're wondering what they're lacking, it's evidence. So what they would follow up with in their speech or their commercial um, or their editorial they would need evidence that proves exactly what experience do you have or what is your plan and how will it be effective.
Evidence is specific information that is used to back up a reason. Below are 5 common types of evidence. Click each type of evidence to learn more.
So the 3 that we've already reviewed in our textbook are kind of these last 3, so we'll look at those. Example. An example is a specific instance that illustrates a general idea. Sometimes examples are called case studies, especially when they are based on scientific research. A statistic is a fact given in number form. Writers often include statistics in their texts, but statistics may also be presented in charts or graphs. So whenever you see evidence involving numbers, you can pretty much bank on the fact that it's a statistic. And this is that newer one we've already talked about, anecdote. An anecdote is a brief account of an event that can be used to illustrate a point. The story might be about the writer's experience or about another person or group of people. So the 2 that we didn't touch upon, I feel like in elementary school you've already learned what a fact is pretty well. You know, it's just something that's proven to be true. And then a quotation, we'll kind of get more into this when we talk about persuasive techniques, but just because it's right here, quotations are the documented record of someone's comments about a topic. In a persuasive text, a writer may use an expert opinion, which is a statement made by an authority on a subject. That's the persuasive technique that we will talk about in a little bit. We'll refer to it as expert testimonial, and they often will use a quote or a quotation.
Each box below contains a different type of evidence. All of the evidence supports the following claim and reason. Claim: clean up laundry detergent is the best detergent on the market. Reason: clean up laundry detergent can handle tough stains better than other leading brands. Drag the label that best describes the evidence. If you need help, click on the box for clues.
So whenever you have an argument, you start very broad with the claim. So the claim just saying it's the best. And then you get a little bit more specific by saying that it handles tough stains better. And then you need that evidence that's even more detailed. So the first piece of evidence right here, a credible national survey found that 75%, oh, there's a number, of households believe that cleanup can handle tough stains better than the other leading brands. I see a number, so it must be a statistic. Moving on to our next one. Are you tired of tough stains that refuse to go away? I've raised 7 rowdy boys. Whew, good grief. I see a quote. And cleanup is the only detergent that I trusted to take out of those tough stains. So this might be considered expert testimonial. It is a quotation. Our last one. Tia Hale was strolling outside in her white linen dress. A car roared by, spraying mud all over her. Cleanup got the stains out. Since this incident, she will only use cleanup. So that is a story of what happened to a person and how they got rid of their stain, so that must mean an anecdote. I believe this is the end of our tutorial. Let me do a quick check.
Which evidence below best supports this claim and reason?
Okay, so we're going to do this one too. So we've got on the right-hand side, let's look at this first. We have a claim. A policy that bans cell phones from school grounds will cause more problems than it will solve. And so a reason they're giving for, so basically the claim is saying we are against a cell phone ban on school. And the reason is such a policy would upset parents who depend on cell phones to stay in touch with their children. So now one of these 3 will specifically support the idea of parents being upset. So this one is just about students. This one is a quotation from a teacher. This looks like a statistic, parents surveyed. There you go.
To strengthen their arguments, some writers...
And we're not going to go into this just yet. So that's the end of our tutorial on claims, reasons, and different types of evidence.